Now, get ready for the hottest podcast coming out of Dallas, Texas, with Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. Stars talking Cowboys. Let's go!
Yo, here we go again, back up on the scene. Stars talking Cowboys, you know what I mean. The podcast, repping everything with silver and blue. Keeping it real, that's what they do. Let me tell you about the crew. Sean Fox, spitting facts. K Boogie's giving game. Nikki's got the stats, so of course she covers everything. It's showtime, so let's get to the biz. And that Stars talking Cowboys, yeah, you know what time it is.
Now.
Yo, welcome back to another podcast episode of Stars Talking Cowboys. Starring Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki is in the building.
You gonna dig this. Let's go.
What's good, my peeps? Welcome to another edition of Stars Talking Cowboys. I am the only star on here right now, as today is Kenyatta's birthday. So we want to wish him a happy birthday. So he'll be on next week. Hey, Candy, how you doing? And as usual, Nikki will be on in just a moment. Well, guess what? Regular season's in, 9 days, 10 days now? It's here. Another football. The 2022 football season is upon us. And we waited so long to get there. Well, now it's here. So tell me what's your expectation? We went through the preseason. I think we talked about this last week about how preseason is, it's just what it is. It's practice. It determines what the roster will be during the season. We had a little drama with the injury to Tyron Smith, and it looks like that Tyler Smith also has a high ankle sprain. So our offensive line it is what it is. So tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think about what you saw from preseason. And we're going to, like I said, once Nikki gets here, we'll talk about, the what cuts we had, and the roster. So, hey, what's up, Kelly? How you be? What's up, Kat? You missed the show last week. Jeff was on the show. Talk about those Eagles. So, you missed it. And speaking about those Eagles, before Nikki gets here, go Birds, whatever. Before Nikki gets on here, Philadelphia's been making moves. What's up, Meyer? Yeah, Philadelphia's been making some moves lately. They picked up a starting safety from the Saints. So, I'm not saying I'm worried about Philadelphia, but they're sure making moves. They're making more moves than what we're making. And I think that's where I, as a Cowboy fans, don't understand how some of these teams can make all these moves, but we don't do nothing. What you say, Kelly? That whole line gonna be buying you some stock and Henny. Well, I truly understand that. I don't have no Henny around me right now, but I think I got some Ciroc over there and some Grey Goose. That's what I'm gonna be drinking on. But honestly, I'm not really too. I'm not gonna say I'm not worried, and I'm a little bit concerned about the O line. What's up, Brian? I'm a little bit concerned about the O line. It just seems like that we are. It seems like that we just can't get it right as a team. What's up, K Boogie? You enjoying? Happy birthday to you, bro. Happy birthday to you. Wish you was on, but I understand you out having fun. It just seems like we just can't get it right. We get the players, can't get the coach right. We have a decent offense, can't get the defense right. Have a decent defense, can't get the offense right. Have both of them, and Dez still called it. So we're gonna see how that goes. But let's talk about somebody who was your surprise cut from uh, from the preseason, and then if you tell me who your surprise cuts were, we could talk about who made the team that was surprising to us. But yeah, who was some of your surprise cuts? Guys, hold on just a moment here. I gotta see what's going on with Nikki here. All right. Well, I just sent you the link. Everybody can hear you now. So yeah, I hear that Nikki's on her way. So yeah, let me. I'm talking to them, and I'll get right back with you. Let me know. All right. All right. So Nikki's on her way. What's up, Alicia? Going back to the question, who were some of the surprise cuts uh, that you saw? So while we're doing that, you want to explain? You want me to explain how the practice squad works? So what happened this year was the team has to get down to 53, a 53 man roster, and then there's I believe it's 11 players that you can keep for the practice squad, and then we have an exempt for the offensive tackle who was the international player. So what we did was we have injury reserve players. You have Tyron Smith is hurt. You have uh, some players that are out on injury reserves, and you want to keep those. You want to protect those players. So what you do is you add those players. Washington, the receiver, you protect those players by adding them to the 53 man roster. Cut the other 20 some odd guys, 25, 26, 27 guys, and you put them on waivers. Once you put them on waivers, other teams have the chance to pick those up. And we had one player that got picked up. So what you do after that is you now bring what's up to artists. So what you do now is after all those players clear waivers, then you bring back the 11 or 12 guys that you want to keep that you want to sign to your practice squad. In our case, we had both our backup quarterbacks. Two out of three quarterbacks got cut. Two of the three quarterbacks got cut, and um, the kicker got cut, and then a couple offensive linemen and so forth and so on. But the main ones were the two backup quarterbacks and the kicker. Those guys got re-signed to the practice squad. As we have Tyron Smith is hurt and Tyler Smith is hurt. So we're going to try to find some more. There's going to be some more cuts. There's going to be some more cuts to the team, and then at least two, one the kicker and one of the quarterbacks will definitely be brought up to the active roster. But right now, they're trying to just save space. There's still a lot of work to be done with the rosters. Um, in actuality, they have up till next Saturday to come up with the final roster. So what teams have learned to do is, pretty much most of the players that got brought back, they told them, okay, we're going to bring you back if you clear waivers. And when like I said, once those guys cleared waivers, they brought them back. So that's how the practice squad works. Alicia says here that she's so glad that Danucci is gone. Look at Nikki fussing. Well, You get your link yet? So that's how the practice squad works. And generally, you can call a player. Generally, what happens is when you have all these guys on injury reserve, which we have one, two of our three, two of our main players on injury reserve. Uh, Once they get back, then we'll have more roster cuts. So there'll be some more people that'll get taken off of the active roster. They'll either get sent down to the practice squad, and then a couple people on practice squad will get cut. So that's how it is from there. So I want you guys give me just a moment here to try to make sure I can reconnect Nikki to this. It's gonna have to go to Messenger, Nikki. It won't be able to go to your text message. You have to go to uh, you have to go to your Messenger. So sorry, Nikki's not here. We have some technical difficulties. So while we're waiting on that, what surprises me about the Cowboys, Jerry and his son, is that we don't. You see teams like LA, the Rams last year, Kansas City, the Buccaneers. I'm trying to think of all the teams that are making all these moves, and we're not doing anything. That's what makes it so frustrating as a Cowboy fan. Because we've been saying all summer that we need a swing tackle, that we need a swing tackle, we need a swing tackle. And what happens? Nothing. Now to your first string left tackle, and then the kid that we drafted to take over for Tyron Smith. Both of them guys are hurt, and now we go out and get a swing tackle. So right now, the only news that we've heard is that they are going after Jason Peters. So, and he's 40 years old. So, what do you think about that? Let's see, he had three comebacks. His preset solid backup. So, I think a lot of us like Real Greer, and he's coming back. I believe that he is coming back. Uh, he should be on the practice squad because we brought back Danucci's gone, so Greer and it's Real Greer and Jesus, I just had a brain freeze. Coop, there she go.
God dang.
There she goes.
I think somebody did a conspiracy on me and want me to get in there, get on today.
So Whitworth, they said that nobody has contacted him. I think that he also said that he has to talk it over with his family. So he's kind of, I doubt it I'm not gonna say I doubt it, but nobody has contacted him. Let's get some more comments here. Dara says 40 is the new 20 in JJ's mind. Yeah. Daryl said his wife said hell no. So yeah, Whitworth is not coming back. So what you fussing about, Nikki, before you got on here?
Oh, because I couldn't get on. And then I was like, no, just, I ain't gonna even, they got on my nerves today.
Yeah, I saw that you said you weren't telling nobody nothing else. So while I got you on here, what was your surprise cut from
Um, my surprise cut,
Yeah.
TJ Vasher. I thought they would have tried to figure out a way to keep him, if nothing else for his height, nothing else because he could be a great red zone threat for Dak. And even though they did cut him, my mind frame was like, but they would still do what they could to pull him back in and put him back on the practice squad. But being that he didn't even get back on the practice squad today, It makes me wonder if it's just something about him that they just didn't like personally, about him and whatever, because he had a good camp, but based off the three preseason games, he didn't do as much. And I don't think if I recall, I went back and looked at some of the games just to kind of see. But I think I don't even think they really played him as much in the regular season. I mean, in the preseason games to trying to give him a fair shot or a fair chance. I think the way Houston played, that kind of had made their mind up already. The way what's his name? Fecko, the way he played, I think it kind of had made their mind up. Which remember I said all along during training camp and during the first play around preseason game that that last roster spot was going to come down to uh Simi or Vasher. I said that all along. Didn't really have Houston in the equation at the time, but Houston rose to the occasion. He stepped up, and pretty much every preseason game he showed up. Like I said, TJ, he did real well in camp. He made the spectacular catch in camp. So a lot of people was like, "Oh yeah," but I mean, he has the height, he has the arm length, he has everything to be a red zone threat. But he just didn't do enough in the preseason games to make them feel like he was worth keeping on the roster or making room for him on the roster. But I thought at least we would have pulled him back into the practice squad for nothing else because he's been there. He kind of know, the playbook. He kind of been there studying, the last two seasons with us or whatever. So I kind of figured that they would try to pull him back in. So that kind of surprised me that he wasn't even on the practice squad list today. Not to say that he still won't make it back, but it was just surprising that he wasn't one today.
Yep. So our practice squad as of today is Cooper Rush, Will Greer, uh, DeAndre Drummond, Brett Maher, Tyler Cole, Malik Davis, Jawan Thomas, Malik Jefferson, Mike Tufua, Isaac Alakarn, and that's the Hispanic gentleman that we got the roster exemption for. Alec Lindstrom, Avante Collins, Brandon Smith, Sean McKeon, which I kind of expected that, and,
Hmm.
and Carlos Watkins. And
Pretty
I
much
expect,
everybody on there I expected.
yeah. So injury reserve right now we have uh, Devontae Bond, Tyron Smith, James Washington, and Ian Butting. And I guarantee you that Devontae Bond and Ian Bunting will probably be let go uh, to make room for somebody else. Because Tyron Smith is not, as we all know, is not going to play until late year, or even if he does play this.
This season.
And then, so let's go here. So what's our kicker situation? Or Mike Penn's going to go for it on fourth down? What's going to happen is Brett Maher is going to get called. They're still waiting, going through the waiver wires.
Hmm.
Who's out there? Uh, by the time, let's say we sign Jason Peters, he's going to come in. He's going to take a roster spot. Somebody from the roster is either going to get cut or get sent down to the
On
practice,
the practice squad.
and then they're going to call up Brett Maher, and they're going to call up a backup quarterback through for the games. So Maher and Rush will probably be the backups. Those two will definitely probably get called up on game day, and then we're going to either send two people down, or we're going to cut
And cut
people
somebody.
and then sign some more players to the practice squad. So that's how the practice squad works. The roster is still not final. We have up until next Saturday. I want to say at 3 or 4 p.m., 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern
Yeah.
Time, uh,
Hmm.
to have a final roster in. So there's still going to be some more rosters. There's still going to be some more changes to the roster.
And they're still bringing players in for just to talk to and see if they can help, where they can help at if it's a need for the team. So they're still doing that as well. So as you said, the roster, even though they look like the 53 man roster set is not set.
Yeah. So Yep. Yep. Yolanda, we definitely have time to get more players.
Definitely players that can help in any
So
situation. I
so
know.
here's the go ahead. I'm
Oh
about
no,
to
you
say
good. Go ahead.
so here's the offense for the Cowboys. We have Dak Prescott, uh, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, and Rico Dowdy. Wide receivers, you got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, James Washington, which he got sent to the on injury
And
reserve.
hmm
Tolbert, Fahokee, Noah Brown, Turbin, and Houston. Tight end Schultz, Ferguson, and Hendershot, which Hendershot showed out. Those
oh, that
last.
last games.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he showed out. Tyron Smith was went to the practice. I mean, to injury reserve. Tyler Smith. Right now, he has a high ankle sprain, so we don't know how long he's going to be out. Uh, what you call him, badass? uh, Zach Martin, Terrence Steele, Connor McGovern, Josh Bell, Matt Fornick, and Matt Walisco. Two of them are probably one of
I
them.
thought Walisco was hurt too.
Yeah, I think he went to injury reserve,
Right.
but he made the initial
Roster.
53 man roster.
Hmm.
So on defense, this was the initial 53 man roster, and then uh, on defense is the ones that I'm not gonna say that I was surprised by some of these, but I was more so I wasn't surprised because we all said that Marquise Bell was gonna make the roster,
Hmm.
but I think Israel, what's his last name, Makua,
Makuba, Makuya, yeah.
yeah, that one shocked me. I knew Jaron Curse and Malik Hooker was gonna make it, and Donovan Wilson. Okay, so obviously Michael Parsons and Van Der Esch and Cox. I was surprised, and Anthony Barr. I knew them four were going to make it. I was really shocked that Luke Gifford still, made it. But he's a good special teams
He's
player.
yeah, and I think that's the reason they kept him because of special teams. They also re-signed CJ Godwin as well.
Yeah. So then we got Trayvon Diggs, Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, Bland. He played a hell of a game those last couple of games. Nashawn Wright and Kevin Joseph. I
That
think,
surprised me.
yeah, I think that one of them two is going to go down the practice squad.
Probably right. Well, yeah, it'll probably be right because he's the penalty boy.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna. I think they still feel like they still need some room to work with him. I mean, really and truly, him and Kelvin both could go to practice squad because Kelvin had a horrible preseason. He had a horrible training camp and a horrible preseason, and I think the concussion is really what saved him. I think he was saved by the concussion because I honestly think that if they and the fact that he's a second round draft pick,
Yep.
you know,
So these defensive tackles, Gallimore, he had a good
he had a good season.
preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Osa, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name.
You know who we're talking about?
Yeah. Um, Bohanna, Tristan
Mm-hmm.
Hill. I was kind of
Surprised.
surprised about him. Golston, I really wasn't too surprised about him, but he was a borderline in my opinion. And John Ridgway, he had a pretty good.
Yeah, he had a good training camp and preseason.
And then obviously defensive end, they kept five: Demarcus Lawrence, Armstrong, uh, Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, and Basham. And Basham had a good off season. I mean, a good preseason. So you know what we have is what we have. I think everybody's concern right now is exactly what the artist King said. On offense, is center and
Center
tackle.
and tackle. And that's what I said. Right now the offensive line is our weakest link to the team. Right now, for me. That's my opinion. Um well, Leatherwood got picked up today. He went to the Falcons.
Yep.
So he's no longer on the market. And even if it wasn't, he lost his job to some dude come off the street to try out for the team. He lost his job to them. So that alone for me. At first when I first seen him come available, I was like, maybe he can help. He young. He come from Alabama. He was a first round draft pick. I said maybe he can help, but then when I started looking at tape and film on him, I was like, I don't know. And then like a couple of days later, then it started coming out. Why the Raiders were trying to move on from him. I mean, they tried to trade him to more than one team, and nobody bit. Nobody said no. Everybody was like, nope, nope, I'm not gonna trade you for that. I just wait for him to hit the market if we really want him.
So Damon, if we don't fix our offensive line, it's just going to be a long season. I can't predict that. So Carlton says we're going to go 11-6. I could take that.
That's always been my pick. 11-6, even before the offensive line looked like it looked.
So what do y'all think about Avante Collins?
I
What do you,
like Avante. He had a good preseason. He had a training camp, and he had a good preseason. That's why I was like, when they said I seen him brought back into the practice squad, I was okay with that because he had a very good preseason.
I think for me, the defense. Uh, I think it was pretty hard for the coaches to pick players on the defense. Um, you know, I, they the defense pretty much played pretty good. The offense, the first game, but you can expect that. Defenses are always ahead of offenses. The offense, they I can't even really gauge it because they really didn't play. So a lot of the rookies and free agents did a lot of playing, and I saw a lot of good out of all of them. But you can't, I'm not going to say you can't take any stock in the preseason games because used to be you could take stock in the preseason games, but now a lot of teams the starters aren't even playing anymore. A lot of our starters didn't play, um, so it is what it is. Let's see. Daryl says, for Jerry to be driving, we running the ball. You would think that they would have make a line at prime necessity, and yeah, I mean that's my take on it. We didn't do anything about the line,
Nothing.
and if a Jerry to get on first take and says that, you know, pretty much he said we go, we happy with the guys we have on our roster. You got to show me because I have no faith in that line right now.
I don't either. I don't have no faith in it either. Jerry gonna say whatever he needs to say on TV. He's not going to ever, because he never want to feel like he did nothing wrong. He never want to feel like he did not doing what he's supposed to do to get this team to a winning level. So of course everybody gonna blame Jerry no matter what, and because he the issue. He is the issue of the team. But um, I don't have no faith in this O line right now at all. I mean, they might surprise me. They might surprise all of us. I'll be shocked. And if they do, I'll be the first to come back and say, "Damn, I didn't have, my bad." But I don't have no faith in this O line at
Uh,
all.
and
For
me,
one, I just think it's too young.
so what do you think about Jason Peters? He's 40 years old. What do you think?
Um, he's 40 years old. Last year he was 39. He played 15 games. At the age of 39. I think if nothing else, he brings a vet presence to this young line. Um, Also, they say that he's a great locker room guy to help mentor the younger guys. I think if he do sign, he's not coming in. They're not signing him to be a starter. They bringing him in just for the presence of a vet, and they bringing him in just to kind of jump in here and there a little bit when they need to. If they need to take somebody out the game. Um, I know a lot of people today. Facebook went into a frenzy when they seen that they was bringing him in, and it kind of just went crazy left. The first thing everybody started saying was, why, and I said it yesterday, why we always shopping at the Dollar Tree. Um, but when I stepped back and I looked at what we have on the line versus what he possibly could bring to us in situational football moments, I was like, okay, I mean, it was out of him or Fisher. When I went up and down the list to see who was the best available to bring in, it was out of him or Fisher. They reached out to Fisher. The amount of money that Fisher said he wanted for even his age and for what he, what he probably can still do, Jerry and them is like, no, we're not doing it. We're not gonna do that. Yeah, we got $20 million, but I guess we have to also look and take in consideration that we have players that's coming up that's gonna need money, gonna be paid. That has to be paid. So we can't just say, oh, we got $20 million and let's just go spend it all up on a 1 year deal for someone. Because 9 times out of 10, even if they brought Fisher in, even if they signed Peters, it's only going to be for a year, only on a 1 year deal. They're not bringing them in to start. They're not bringing them in to be here for another 3, 4 years till he's 46 years old. He's just coming in as a vet to give some leadership on his line, to help on this line, to kind of help mentor these young boys. I mean, this line right now is young, and this is why it was so very important for Tyron Smith to still be here and to be healthy and to be on this line, because this is a young line right now, and any vet experience that we can get at this point and in this moment, we need it. No, he wouldn't be my ideal person. He not my ideal pick, but who else is out there? Who else can we bring? Who else can we pull in? Because even the ones that they thought about looking at, they trash. The Jets, the one from the Jets, they trash. So you got to pick your battle. You know what I'm saying? You have to pick your battle on situations like this. And um, what I do know about Jason Peters, I know he gonna get you a false start. He gonna do that.
And he gonna get
Um,
beat once or twice during the
He
game.
gonna get beat once, twice during the game. He doesn't have the speed anymore. Let's keep it 100. He's 40 years old, so he's not gonna have that full blown speed that we're looking for out of a youngster. But it's just not anyone else out there at this moment for you to just say, I'm going to just give it all up and go get this one player when you still have Tyron Smith on this type of money deal that you have him on. So we'll see. You know, um, I don't know. And the thing about it is they didn't say they were signing him. They just said that he coming for a visit. So it doesn't mean that he's gonna get signed. He coming for a visit. We still don't know how much he gonna ask for when he get here. He 40 years old. I know he understand that he been out on the market for a long time, for a while now. No one needed him. So he set it out. He waited and said, okay, I'll wait. Somebody gonna get hurt. Little behold, it was Tyron Smith that got hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was expecting to get a phone call from Dallas. Nobody was expecting to get a phone call, having to call anybody on the O line right now. So at the end of the day, we just have to weigh our options on it. We just have to see. We just have to see. But what I can say, he's not coming in to be a starter. He's not coming in to take over the Tyron Smith place or take over the line. That's not what he's coming for. So that's why I was like, calm down. Just calm down. Right now, we need help on this line. We need a vet presence on this line. And if he gonna give us a cheap deal and he gonna come in and block 1 or 2 times for that to get the ball off, whatever, without getting a penalty, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, at this point, the thing of it is, I think I said this before you got on here. We've been preaching that we needed a swing tackle since, oh my God, since right after the draft.
Hmm.
We've been talking about that. So, let's see, man, I wish Frederick could have.
I
Man,
know. I
that's
just,
wishful thinking.
man.
And yeah, Fisher did play good for the Colts, but like I said,
Hmm.
as Nikki said, he wants too much money. And what generally happens is that those veterans who want a lot of money, uh, a desperate team will pay them, or they'll take I don't want to say a pay cut. They'll take a less lenient deal later on once they see that the market is not not
what they
there.
thought it would be.
Yeah, so this, I always use the example of, oh my God, I just had a brain freeze again. Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell didn't take that big contract from Pittsburgh a few years ago. He wanted to, gamble on himself. And I look what happened to him.
Hmm. And then he still ended up taking less money from the Jets.
And then he got let go.
Then he got let go. Then he went to the to the Chiefs, and then from there it's been nothing.
Yeah.
So again, we all know that Peters is 40 years old. Yes, he's old. Yes, he over the age, but again, he's not coming to be a starter.
Well, the good thing for us is that you know, Tom Brady and them. Tom Brady has some problems on his offensive line too,
Hmm.
coming up. So it is what it is. It's the NFL. It's the next man up syndrome. It's either we're gonna have a good coach that is gonna coach these guys up, or we're gonna we're gonna sink or swim.
Hmm. And my issue with me is the line coach is not good. Philbin, I don't think he's a good line coach. So that's another issue. That's another problem that's gonna follow along with everything else that's going to happen that's going on with the line. Philbin is not a good line coach at all because there's no way you should still have the amount of penalties that we're still having in games, whether the game count or not. You know, and like I said last week, preseason was a chance and a time for you to get those issues fixed. It's real ball now. You know, now these penalties gonna make or break you. They're gonna hurt you a lot now. Now they count. Now it matters the most. You get a penalty, on a we picked up a first down and then we see the flag and we get a penalty and we getting called back a 10-yard penalty and we probably was driving for a touchdown. That hurts because now you probably got to settle for a field goal. And who's to say your kicker gonna make the kick?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, like you said, what they call those drive killers. They call penalties drive killers. Um, as Stu said, yeah, those penalties beat us, not the teams. When you lead the league in penalties, and we've said this on more than occasion, that's coaching. That's not
Coaching.
Dak. That's not the whole offensive line. That's not the whole defense. That is straight discipline, and that falls on the coaches.
Yep.
I still go back to that playoff game against San Francisco. Randy Gregory, two third down penalties.
Yep.
Third down
Had
penalties.
them off the field.
Yeah.
Had them off the field. And on both those penalties, 49ers scored.
You take away those two scores, we win the game. So if for people who say that coaching doesn't matter, is that the players need to step up? No, coaching does matter because if you're, I'm not in Frisco, so I don't know exactly what the routine is, but it was Awuzie,
Awuzie.
uh, in, who went to Cincinnati. He pretty much said that you know he liked the way Cincinnati practiced because those guys put in work. Being with the Cowboys was pretty much what do you call it? A vacation? What do you call it, Nikki?
Yeah, he said it was like you on an island on vacation.
Yeah,
But he was terrible he was terrible anyway. I mean his issue really was not turning his head. Um but again it was coaching. He got over there and he got the right technique, he got the right thing and he started turning his head, for the ball.
so
Coaching matters no matter what, and that's why I get mad when people be like, "Well, it ain't the coaching. The coaching can't. The coaches is not on the one on the field. Coaches are not the ones on the field, but the coaching is the ones that can tell you from standing on the sideline what you doing wrong and coach you up on it." And that's the problem we have had in Dallas for a long time. Our talent, does not. We have had talented players, but horrible coaching.
and it's been like this for years. Um, Before we even get any further, make sure you guys go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Stars Talking Cowboys. Make sure like I said, that's another platform that you can be able to watch us on. Go back and watch some previous shows starting 2 weeks ago that you missed. But I'm just excited. I'm still excited that football is going to start next, in 8 days. Regardless of how I feel about the team and the coaches, it's still football. I'm excited to see college football. I'm excited to see the pros um, because I'm a fan of football. Obviously, I love the Cowboys, um, and I hope we do well. I'm hoping that this is a repeat of 2016, but we go a little further because when Romo went down in 2006 in 2016, we had no expectations as a fan base, none whatsoever, because everybody didn't know what Dak was going to do. Then you look up, we were 13-3. So maybe this is, maybe we can go through the same uh, scenario with us losing, uh, for some of the injuries that we've had. And if you don't think that Tyron Smith injury is important, is bad for us,
Mhm.
that's a devastating injury
Yep.
with the line that we have right now.
That's like the worst part of the team right now that could be down. That's like the worst part of the team that could be down right now. I don't think people realize how important that position is, especially to your quarterback. I just don't think people realize how important it is. And Dak have grown to have so much faith in Tyron, and he just a different player when Tyron is on the field. You know, so he has to get used to Tyron not being there um, until December, or maybe not even the season at all. So it's a very important position.
And let's hope the coaches make adjustments. I mean, I look at Tampa Bay and Tom Brady. This guy's 45 years old, but he has the quickest release in the NFL right now. And when I say, he has the quickest release, that's what the offense is set up for. When Tom Brady goes to the line, they have that offense set up that he knows where that ball is going to go as soon as he walks up to the line of scrimmage. You know, Oh, and that's just from not only Tom Brady being in the league all those years, but the coaches are allowing him to do it.
Mhm.
And I say all the time that Dak does better in a no holder offense where he can go out there and call his own plays.
Yep.
So Stu is exactly that's what I have been saying. Quick plays. We got to. We just have to. And that's where, in my opinion, that's where Pollard uh, and some of those other young quick guys are going to come into play. I think this is probably the tallest wide receiver core that we've had ever. What you think, Nikki?
Huh.
The receivers, how tall they are.
Oh yeah. Mhm. That's why I was surprised they let TJ go because he was what 6'6".
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll come back on the practice squad after we do some more.
Some
Uh,
more shuffling.
yeah. So man. So what you want to talk about?
Um, I didn't have nothing too much. I didn't have too much of nothing in particular to discuss tonight. Mainly about the last preseason game, what we seen. Um, we talked about Peters. We talked about looking forward to what's coming with this upcoming season. I think one thing we can discuss is John Gruden and the speech he gave, saying that he's a good person. He go to church. Um, he should be forgiven. He should be given another chance in the NFL. Yes, the emails were bad. Yes, he shouldn't have said some of the things he said on the emails. But um, again, he's not the only one, and that I mean, which we already said that we know it takes two people to talk. So we know he's not the only one. Um, that he just like he asked for forgiveness and he wants to come back to coaching in the NFL.
It's gonna be a minute before he comes. He gets a coaching job.
Let me say this: if he was a winning, if he was a winning coach, and if he had, well, he had some good, a little bit of roster, but if he was a winning coach in this
Yeah,
league, it would be easier for him to come back because teams would be say, well, he was a winning coach. He have a winning coach formula. He did this, XYZ. He brought the team here, he brought the team there. So it would be easier for him to come back. But being that he didn't have that much of a winning record as a coach with the Raiders, um, it's gonna be hard for him to come back. It's gonna be hard for him to come back.
so definitely here. So to read his quote, as Nikki said, he says, "I am ashamed about what has come about in these emails, and I'll make no excuses for them. It's shameful. I'm a good person. I believe that. I go to church. I've been married for 31 years. I've got three great boys. I still love football. I've made some mistakes, but I don't think anybody in here hasn't. And I just ask for forgiveness, and hopefully he'll get another shot." His emails that came out, they contain racist, anti-gay, and you know, misogynistic language. Um, and we all know that he said those emails came to light in an NFL investigation to workplace conditions with the Washington franchise as Gruden was messaging with then Washington executive Bruce Allen. I think, and when we discussed this, the biggest thing about that is if he felt comfortable with sending those emails out, then that's because those guys have had those conversations before. And
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that somebody got CC'd, uh, or got attached. More names are attached to those emails.
Hmm.
It's just that when they went into investigating Washington and they found those emails, they had to make somebody else a scapegoat too. And it just so happened that Gruden was at it.
Yep. Yep. He didn't talk by himself, so I know that for a fact, but it's crazy. But I do understand his kind of understand his point. I got made the scapegoat and everybody else then rolled off in the sunset. You know,
Pretty much.
refresh my memory. Have we done a game schedule season prediction yet? Also, Gruden needs to shut the F up. Bye, Felipe. Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's the thing. Um, it's just certain things you can't do and you can't say and expect everyone to just forgive you and just say, "Oh, it's okay." You know, um, he has to think about it. It's what 73% of the league is black players, and you made the racist comments you made. I mean, do you honestly think that these players want to play for you? Now that's not count the ones that's probably hiding behind the door. You know, let's not count them that ain't came public yet about what they are.
Yeah. So Daryl asked, "What's our take on Donald swinging helmet getting swept under the rug? Yet they ran Garrett through the mud." And then we'll get to the second part in just a second. Um, well, I think what they said was is that they allow teams to police the practices, especially the joint practices, and that's where the teams have when they get to fighting, the teams have ended practices. Shit, sometimes I think that they fight on purpose so they ain't got to practice no more. But you know what? I think it's BS that, and I like Aaron Donald. I think that he's been an outstanding. Uh, he's been a model player in this league. But I guarantee you, if this was the Cowboys, then there would have been some repercussions from it.
Mhm.
I guarantee you that. And the fact that you're swinging helmets, uh, didn't Miles Garrett get suspended? How many games did he lose? Did he lose the rest of the season that
Who?
year? Miles Garrett when he took that helmet off and swung it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he lost the rest of his season
Uh-huh.
because technically you can consider a helmet as a weapon. So, like I said, I think it's BS. You know, I don't know if he needs to be because it was practice, and I don't know the scenario. I don't know who started what, but at minimum he should have been fined. You know, and I think even Stephen A. Smith said he should have been punished, and I don't agree with too much he says. And getting to the second part of your question, and where's the angry women organizations at that had all the energy for that punter? Um, I think the league, I think the league has jumped on it early. As soon as they heard about it, Buffalo did a little small investigation, and then they immediately released him. Um, I think the kid has come out and said that some of those allegations weren't true. I think his lawyer said that the truth would come out and so forth and so on. And isn't it supposed to be innocent until proven guilty? The league does not want another Deshaun Watson case. They don't want that. So that's the reason why they let this kid go as quick as they did.
Well, I think, let me say this. And I have to agree with Stephen A. Smith what he said about this morning. And I don't listen or nothing much that Stephen A. Smith say, but what he said this morning made perfectly sense. And he said, and I feel the same way. The only reason why the Bills did the quick release that they did of him was because they didn't want the look that the Texans have gotten and that the Browns have gotten. They didn't want that look. But they knew before they even signed him that this was a situation that was brewing. They knew about it, but they didn't expect it to hit the media as fast as it did and like it did. And regardless of what, if you're right, he is innocent until proven guilty, but he admitted to having sex with her. In the state of California, 17 is illegal. As to where some states 17 is not illegal. California, it is. So that's a problem within itself. That's the biggest problem with this situation is that he admitted to having sex with her. Although he's not saying that he's not admitting to saying that they gang raped her, but he still admitted to having sex with her at the age of 17. And in the state of California, it's a crime. Um, and I honestly think that if it would have been any other way, any other direction, and keep it 100, a black player, he wouldn't have stayed on the team. He wouldn't have even been at practice. He wouldn't have even made it that far. So again, is again, we are still judged differently in certain scenarios and certain things. We're still judged differently. And the Bills only let him go because of what how fast the media got a hold to it, because the Bills had already, they knew about this situation, but they was hoping that it would have stayed swept under the rug. But when it didn't, they had to make that quick move. And I said the same thing. Remember, I posted about it in the group. I said, "Where are all the angry women? What are women groups at now? That was all coming for Watson. Where's the women groups at?" So I think people pick and choose their battles, and they pick and choose what they want to make a big issue, especially in this NFL league. They pick what they want. But let's be clear, if he was a Dallas Cowboys player, black or white, he wouldn't have made it that far. Like, he had practice. And y'all got him on the team. Y'all got him practicing and everything, knowing that this was already part of what was going on. Y'all was hoping that y'all got past it. Y'all was hoping that it got swept under the rug.
Yep. So I'm trying to find his bio here. His bio says that he's born in 5/16/2000. He was 22. He's 22 years old.
And this happened last year when she was what, 17?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your answer, Liggins.
All right. Uh, it's good. Keep the questions up. We love answering questions. It makes the show interesting when you guys we talk about the subjects that you want to versus what we want to. And you're right. You know, I don't want to make this a black and white thing because
No,
it
it's not. We don't want to.
it is, but it does seem that there's a double standard. When it comes to some. So football, college football. Who you
Yes.
who you root for, Nikki? We've never talked about that, have we?
On my college team,
Yeah, LSU.
LSU. Hmm.
Okay. Well, obviously, I'm a Notre Dame fan, being from Indiana, because IU and Purdue had some good teams, but they're not those IU and Purdue aren't football schools. They're basketball schools. So who we got here? We got Alicia says USC. I knew we was gonna have a Bama fan in here. FSU.
FSU. Okay.
Okay. Are they gonna rebound, Carlton? Because they used to be the ish. Florida State used to be the ish. Brian here, Bulldogs, Nebraska Cornhuskers. So what y'all gonna do with y'all coach? Nebraska has shocked me. He said since the Deion years. Barry Robinson says Louisiana Tech. Now they used to be a shocker back in the day. Uh,
Oh yeah, Louisiana Tech.
yep,
It must be Barry said that.
yep.
Oh, yeah.
So FSU and the I were cold back in there. I know you said the I, but I'm pretty sure you meant the U. There you go. Uh, I'm excited because the first game of the season for my squad is Ohio State and Notre Dame. You cannot ask for a better opening game than that. And I'm definitely kind of biased towards Notre Dame because we have another African American coach up there, and that the players love. So we're going to see how that goes. I hope there's not another Ty Willingham situation. Yep, it's definitely what a kickoff. Great opener, and you're going to lose. No, I, Ohio State tends to. Uh, Ty Jackson, she says she's a LSU, and I'm a Notre Dame fan. Ohio State tends to falter in the beginning of the year. Um, they usually falter to these little no-name teams. They end up winning, but Notre Dame's a powerhouse. So we're gonna see.
Um. Oh, I know we can discuss. So let's discuss Michael Gallup. Them saying that he's ready to play week 1 if they need him to. So, is that something that we're gonna that they well, I don't think let me say this. I don't think they're gonna play him week 1. I think it'll probably still be week 3, week 4 before he actually returns to the game. I don't want them to rush him back. I don't want this to be another Dez scenario. How they rushed Dez back, and then Dez hadn't been the same ever since that. With playing. So I definitely don't want them to rush him back. The only person I think that can do that and did that was Jerry Rice when he came back in 14 weeks or so. When he cut the cast off his leg
Hmm.
and came back to the game. But that's the only person I think could do that. Unless you Jerry Rice, no.
Well, yeah, Terrell Owens came back from that
Oh,
broken foot
T.O. did too.
and
Yep.
a couple of weeks to play in the Super Bowl.
To play in the Super Bowl.
Did you see that clip of him doing that 40-yard dash or racing? He was racing somebody and ended up,
T.O.
yeah, you have to look that up. Uh, but going back to Michael Gallup, yeah, I think that they definitely need to sit him as long as they need to. Don't bring him back until he's 100% ready. So, Nikki, I'm a Clemson guy. Is your is your fan going to bounce back and help my boy Lawrence this year?
Travis. So my Travis HN. Um, I don't know. I think I think he's ready. I think he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be fine this year. Um, but I think he's still gonna need to get back to the speed of the game. He got hurt so early on. When he, getting after getting drafted, I just think he needs to get back to the speed of the game. But I think he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be okay.
So, there's something I did want to talk about. Uh, these college players and these NILs.
Hmm.
These kids, like, they're making millions of dollars. Is this going to keep these kids in school? You think it's going to keep these kids in school, or you think they're still going to want to come out early and go to NFL?
To be honest, I think it's all about the player and what they feel is most important to them. I'm a fan of all HBCU teams. Yeah, I think it's all about the player and his family. What the family want, what the family decide. Because most of the time when they make these decisions, they make it with family, with the family views and what the family sit down and discuss with them and what the family sit down and tell them. So I think that's what it's gonna all come down to. How bad they want to be in the NFL versus still being in school.
So I think I read something. It was already a big thing between Texas A&M and uh, Alabama. Those two coaches getting into it. But I think I read somewhere now that every player on Texas A&M is going to get some money now.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
That's
But
that's
Mike Nick Saban can't get mad at look how much money they just done paid him. He taking all the money from the kids.
that's true. So he said they still coming out. The dream of the NFL, that money in college is just to curb the appetite for the time being. It's like an appetizer for the main course to come. Yeah, you're right about that. But
That's true.
if you a kid in college, you got a scholarship, and then somebody's paying you $2 million, and you don't have no, would you stay in school another year or two to hone your skills, or I guess it depends on the your draft status, if you come out or not. But I know there's some kids I saw. I think I read early this week that these kids are now getting recruited in the sixth, seventh, and eighth grade now, and
Yeah.
I think that's just crazy. But at the same time, I kind of can believe it because I referee high school football, and then on some weekends I referee youth sports. So I referee sixth, seventh, and eighth graders sometime, and I've seen some kids that definitely don't look their age, um, and I've seen some kids that I understand why people are recruiting these kids at this young age.
Yeah, they coming up being some beasts, big boys that you think they should already be on the end. They should already be in the NFL. Just skip college. Just come straight to the NFL. Especially them Alabama boys. That's some big dudes. And Georgia.
You know that,
That's some big boys.
but I think with this NIL money that's going out, I think it's going to spread that competition out a little bit more. um, as far as I know these, the Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. Don't forget about Wisconsin either. There's a lot of big boys coming out of Wisconsin. I think a lot of it's just my opinion. I think a lot of the West Coast guys, all the skill players come out of there, out the West Coast and Florida.
Hmm.
But them big kids, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia. So Alicia says she has a son. Her oldest son has a friend that was 6'5" in the seventh grade. Wow. And here my bud is 5 something. Give me some of that height. So let's look at the schedule. Have we went over the schedule yet and who we thought or
Mm-mm.
what we thought that our predictions would be?
Nope.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me. Well, Tampa Bay, with their O line being as bad as it is, I think that's going to be a good game. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if we won that game. And actually, I wouldn't be. I more so would. I wouldn't be surprised if we won that game. But if our O line can't hold up, we're definitely going. Our O line is going to be the key to that game. But Tom Brady and Dak has to deal with the same thing, and I'd have to give a slight edge to Tom Brady because of that quick release that he has. So, for the sake of my heart, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys on that game.
Um, of course, I'm going for the. I'm gonna go with um Cowboys as well. But I think for me, the key to the game again, one is gonna be O line, two is gonna be secondary. How well that secondary holds up to Tom Brady's quick release and the receivers that he have out there. Um, I got a feeling he's gonna go. Of course, he's gonna target Anthony Brown. That's who he's gonna target. So I'm hoping that this season, this year, that they see this early on, Dan Quinn, and they bring a safety on top because that's who he's going to target. He's going to target Anthony Brown, especially against Julio. So um, but I think our defense is good enough to bring the pressure. Tom Brady already on the record saying how he's not comfortable with his new center, that he's not comfortable with it. He's not comfortable with the line as he want to be. So hopefully our defense can get the pressure on him that we need and force him to get rid of the ball sooner than he wants to. If you get Tom Brady rattled, get him off his game early in the game and get in his head early, you can stand a chance to win that game. And of course, whoever the field goal kicker is, we need them to make their kicks.
Definitely. Week two Bengals. Joe Burrow had to have a emergency appendectomy, so he had had a lot of preseason time and throw. They say he will be ready to play. He's starting to throw, but he hasn't had that uh, training camp preseason time to start throwing the ball. Um, this is another toss-up game for me because of the O-line situation. Since his defense, I'm not too scared of their D-line. I'm more, their linebacker core and their DBs were the strength of their team, their defense to me. So, as much as I hate to say this, we're at home. I got us losing that game.
Yeah. Um, like you said, Joe Burrow didn't have much preseason, but he's a natural. Um, he know the game. He's well in the game. He I don't think he need that much preseason. So this is the game, one of the games that I had down as a loss. I said we was gonna be 1-1. I said we could either win Tampa Bay, lose to Cincinnati, or we can lose to Tampa Bay and come back and beat Cincinnati. Either way, I got us being 1-1. I hope to be wrong on both. I mean, I hope that we 2-0. But realistically speaking, and with the issues that we have, I think it's fair to say we'll be 1-1 by then.
Okay. So we got the Giants after that. So we got a Sunday night game, a 4:25 game, and then we come back with the Giants on Monday night.
Monday night.
And we have them in New York, which is surprising to me because we generally play them at the end of the year. Giants have upgraded their O line a little bit.
Hmm.
Uh, the key would be their defense has been pretty stout. The key is, I ain't gonna say key. Their downfall is Daniel Jones.
Right. Right.
He turnover Jones. He's gonna turn the ball over somehow. So I have us winning that game. It's gonna be a close game. It's not gonna be as a
Right.
blowout game like we think it is because they always play us tough. I look at a game like that of like 17-14, 21-17, something like that. But I think that we'll pull it off.
Yeah, and then it's a division game. Division games are always played totally different than other games. They It's always a knockout drag. I don't care how bad the team is. It's always a problem. I have to agree with Damon though, but the Giants are a hot mess. They fight in practice. They don't have no respect for the coach. The coach cuss them out. He used all the F words in the book. That he can. He talked to them crazy. He don't. They don't respect him. So I just think that I think that game we should win. Limiting ourselves with penalties and mistakes and calling a good game, and we should win.
All right, then we go. We got the Commanders coming in on October the 2nd. That's a 1 o'clock game.
That's a hot mess. They're a hot mess.
Yeah, and we generally win those 1 o'clock games. I don't, well, let me take that back. We should win those 1 o'clock games. Um, Carson Wentz, we're familiar with him. I this is his third team in 3 years, so I think we should be able to take that one. So I'm looking at 3-1 after the first 4 games. I mean, we could go 2-2, but I think we'll be 3-1.
Hmm.
Then we have what you got with the Commanders game.
I have us winning.
Okay. So then from there we have the Rams, another 4 o'clock game in LA.
I have us losing.
I I have us losing that game also um, because of their defense. I think that we'll be able to contain Matthew Stafford, uh, but I think their defense is going to step up. We then have another game that's usually a cold weather game for us, but we play these guys on the 16th, and that's the Eagles. That's another Sunday night game, and that's going to be the game to me, the game of the year as far as the division is concerned, because that's going to set the stage on who's going to win the division, in my opinion. Um, we've swept them the last. We've beaten them pretty bad the last couple of years. I think that we still could win this game, but I think it's gonna be a little closer than what people think.
The Eagles.
Yeah,
Yeah. The Eagles have a good they have a good D line. They have a good D line.
Travis
Um,
Travis has us losing that game.
I don't have the O line is okay. They have improved it, but I think for me the Eagles is still going to come down to Jalen Hurts. It's going to come down to the quarterback play.
All right, so after the Eagles, we got the Lions. 1 o'clock on Sunday the 23rd.
I have us winning that game,
Yeah, Lions haven't done
but that's
anything
a
in
trap
years.
game. That's a
Yeah.
trap game. That's a trap game.
So this part of the schedule where we can make up some grounds. After the Lions, we have the Bears.
Another trap game.
Yeah, but they're letting their players go, so I still see them as rebuilding. Uh, then it looks like we have a bye. We have an early bye. Wow,
Hmm.
which is unusual for us. So we have an early bye, and then we come back on November the 13th and play the Packers.
And we play in Wisconsin.
Yep.
We play in Lambeau. I don't think Aaron has the star power that he's normally had when he's played us, but Aaron Rodgers still have our number. He still have our card. So I think I'm gonna say we lose.
Yeah, we don't play well in Green Bay, so I definitely think that that's gonna be an L for us.
And it's gonna be cold.
And then we make another trip back up north against the Vikings the next week. I think that they have an offensive minded coach. Um, I think they lost 8 games last year by one score or less. They had the most one score or less losses in the league, and I think it was like 7, 8 games that they lost. But I think we'll pull them off. We've had their numbers lately also, so I think we'll pull that off as a win.
I have us winning that one. Should have gotten Keelan. I think they did reach out about. I think they did reach out about Keelan, if I'm not mistaken. From what I've seen earlier today, I think they did reach out about Keelan, and they also reached out about what's his name, Mims. Yeah, they reached out about him as well, and I think they wanted a third and a fourth for him, and Jerry and Cowboys was like, hell no, we're not giving you no third and no fourth. We give you a fourth, but we ain't give you no third and a fourth.
All right, the November 24th, we have, um, so that's got to be Thanksgiving. Yeah. So Thanksgiving, we have the Giants coming in. And for some reason, we do
We
not do
cannot
well on
win
this.
Thanksgiving for
We
some
cannot,
reason.
right. Yeah, we do not win Thanksgiving games. I think this year we're going to break that curse and win this game.
I think we get lucky this year. They put the Giants on their schedule.
All right, December 4th, we got the Colts. Matt Ryan.
Mhm. Matt Ryan has given us fits. Even when he was in Atlanta, he's been hard to. I mean, we've beat him, but besides his last time we played him when we beat the brakes off of him, but he's with a better team. He's with a better defense. He's with a better offense.
He has a running
Um,
game and offensive line.
right. So, this game could go either way. But we play home or we play go to the coast.
We play home.
Mm,
And it's a Sunday night game also.
mm, I don't know. I can't call this one yet. I got to see how the coast come out. It's new playbook and everything for him too. I don't know. I gotta see. I can't call this one yet.
All right. And then after that, we have the Texans at 1 o'clock.
We should dust them.
But that's a trap game to me for some
It's a trap
reason.
game,
Yeah.
but I think we should. But I still think we should dust them.
All
We
right.
play them at home as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we
Then,
should.
then we go on the road to Jacksonville,
Trap game.
and Doug Peterson is the head coach. He's done really good against us. Um, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna take an L on that one, just because.
I still have us winning out. I have us winning that one.
Okay. We got the Eagles coming in on Christmas Eve.
I have us winning that one.
Okay.
I think we lose to them on the road, but win to them at home.
So that's a Saturday night game. Then we go back on Thursday night and play the Titans on the 29th.
That's a L. I had that as a L.
And then we have the Commanders to finish out the season in Washington
I had it as a
in that
win.
in that raggedy ass stadium.
Would
And
they
then
bench warmers don't work
and look, they don't even have a time for that game set yet. It says to be determined.
because that's a part of the schedule where they start flexing.
Yeah.
They start flexing games at that end part of the schedule. And like even some of the games that we like the last couple of ones, like even the Eagles, they may end up being a night game. Depending on where we both at in our in the season with our records and how important that game may end up being. That might end up switching to a night game or something. But I do like the fact that I got two of my home team players on the Houston Texans. Uh Stingley and Perkins. I mean Petrie. Have both of them, and they both from my hometown. Went to school with both their mothers. So for that part, I wish them well. But not when they play us.
Definitely, definitely. So, I mean, like I said, the season is upon us. It's right. We got 2 Sundays, uh, 10 days. He let 10 days in a go to sleep because it's a Sunday night game. So 10 days in the wake up. So Travis has us 10-7. I got us at 11-6.
That's what I have. 11 and
Yeah,
6.
I got us at 11-6. I think we'll win a couple of games that we
Expect
shouldn't, and we'll lose a couple of games that we should win.
right. We have a few trap games.
In my opinion, I think we got about four or five of them. Detroit, definitely Detroit, definitely Chicago. Chicago has always played us tough. And then Jacksonville and the Texans. I think those are trap games. I don't think that we'll go undefeated in the division this year. I definitely don't think that much. Nikki, you got to take off for just a second. I gotta take this phone call.
Oh, okay. I guess send me some questions. I'm waiting. Oh, he working the board. I can't even get y'all during question until he show me what your questions are. So we just wait for him to come back. Oh, Darren Kelly, I need to mail y'all stuff. I'll mail it to y'all. If not Friday, I definitely mail it Saturday. I'll get it in the mail to y'all. Y'all know I'm slow. I can't even see no questions. I don't know why he just left me without even being able to work the board. So I can see if it's anything. You know what? Let me just go online and see what y'all saying so I can answer some questions. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now, Kelly. I'm on my phone now to see what questions y'all have. I don't even know who all on here. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm back.
Yeah, I couldn't see none of the questions.
Oh, my bad. Let's see here. All right.
Oh, he said to me, it looks like Dak being set up to fail. Dak being set up to fail. Dak and Eminem.
Too early in the season to be
Season to
trap
be trap
games with
games, but
Detroit,
we try in
Chicago.
Chicago. We not that good for trap games. Trap games when rolling and playing a mediocre team with what's going on with us, our O line, wide receiver, no trap game. Hmm, I have to kind of disagree, Cooley, because any game could be a trap game. Um, just because they have a bad roster, don't mean not gonna still come in and play you hard and play you. No matter what, no matter that, regardless of what our roster look like, um, it's still games that we are expected to win. We still look like the better team on paper. So I think any game is a trap game, but I still think those two games are games that we probably going in with the high intensity that we gonna win out the gate. And that's the games that's gonna give us the most trouble. That's the games that anything that go wrong will go wrong. Kicker miss kicks, somebody get hurt, it be a penalty fest game. Um, Coaching not what it's supposed to be. Time clock management ain't what it need to be. So I think, and sometimes they get out coached. No adjustments being made. So I think any game is a trap game. But being that we still look like we have the better roster and we still supposed to win, I think I still can consider that a trap game.
So the King Art says sounds like last season. I I think I made a comment earlier that last year I had high expectations for the team. This year, I don't have any expectations. I think this year is a year that I just want to see what happens, where the chips fall, and hopefully, it seems like every year that I have those expectations. I mean, I set those expectations for myself, not expecting the team to do more than what they should. Then that's when they show up. So I'm hoping, for my sake, I'm hoping that it's a repeat. I'm like Kelly, Kelly Connors. I'm gonna have a supply of Hennessy sitting around somewhere. Uh, I'm gonna, I'm gonna hide me with the little bottles. Take me get me some
Right.
little shot bottles and take them wherever I go. Cause man,
And that's why some games I have to watch at home, just because I just don't ever know how they gonna play, and I just have to stay home and watch certain games because I don't never know how they gonna play, and I don't need to be out in public acting up. So y'all think head coach can get hammered before the end of the season? No, Jerry and them are not that type. They're not. They don't do that. They generally don't fire in the middle of a season. They normally generally roll it out and wait it out till the end of the season. So to be honest, um I don't think they'll fire him in the middle. I'm seeing we would have to be doing extremely bad for Jerry to for them to do it in the middle of the season.
right. So all the alcoholics are coming out. So Brian said he really wants to beat Tom Brady in both Eagles game. We've never beaten Tom Brady.
Right.
Hate the Eagles so much.
I said that earlier today that no quarterback in Dallas have beaten Tom Brady since Tom Brady been in the league. No Dallas quarterback have beaten him, and we need to do it. And not only that, we just need to do it because of Tom Brady, but this is a playoff team from last year, Super Bowl team from the following year. These are the teams that we have to win against. Um, Basically, Dak has to win these type of games. He has to win and beat these type of quarterbacks. He has to, in order for people to get to even want to start giving him the respect and putting him in the category of being an elite quarterback. These are the type of games that he has to win.
And I think that the older Dash gets, obviously, he's been playing a little better the older he gets, regardless of what anybody says. This is, I don't care what nobody says. Dak is not a dink and dunk quarterback. Um, when you read, about him, the biggest take about Dak is he can't beat the elite quarterbacks, or he has a not so good of a record against teams against 500. And my rebuttal to that is look up Aaron Rodgers' record against above 500 teams. He's under 500 too. Um, there's not too many quarterbacks that are over 500. Patrick Mahomes is current quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is. Tom Brady is. I want to say Lamar Jackson is, and I think that's it. I think those are the only ones that are over 500 that's still in the league right now. So it says Dak is out. QB. Dak is our QB, but I don't think he's taking us to the Super Bowl. Um, for us to get to the Super Bowl, we have to have a top five defense. You know, and that's I think the last offensive team that won the Super Bowl was that didn't have a really good defense. I want to say it was the Colts. They had a terrible defense up until the playoffs, and in the playoffs, something kicked in, and their defense stepped in. But I don't recall too many offensive teams winning the Super Bowl. And even if they did get to the Super Bowl, it's still been low scoring games. What everybody's that's saying that defenses win championships. That's probably the one true thing about football there's a constant about that is that defenses win championships. Hey, look at what the Rams did last season. They came out in the second half and shut Cincinnati down. So the Giants beating the Patriots, when they beat them, it was their defense. It was and I think you're talking about the year that the Giants were 18-0, 17-0 going into the Super Bowl. Um, the Giants defense showed up, and then you had the lucky play, the helmet catch from Manning, but at the end, the defense showed up. So Alicia, the reason why they drafted Dak, they did not draft Dak to be the starting quarterback. As a matter of fact, they drafted Dak to compete for the third string quarterback, to be even a practice squad quarterback. But Romo got hurt, and then Kellen Moore got hurt, and then Dak ended up getting a starting job by default. Dak came in the preseason games. He lit it up for two preseason games. So they went on ahead and named him the starter. They didn't bring nobody else in. So they didn't draft Dak to become the starter. They drafted Dak really to be, to compete for the third string. And he said, he was a work in progress. I remember. What you down there reading, Nikki?
Oh, I was reading about them going back and forth about the Bills punter that got released and why he got released, and they like so we already discussed it. Just amazing at some of these comments, but
Which you talking about in the chat?
no, it's on one of the sports apps, and everybody giving their opinion on it. So one guy said he should have not been released based on a civil suit being filed. If he did it, then he should face the harsh punishment possible, both criminally and Civil. We used to have a presumption of innocence, and the guy's career has been ruined without him being found guilty or liable for anything. Ain't that what happened with Deshaun?
Yeah.
So see, that's the thing. Like people always you got to pick your battle on these type of situations. You can't say that it's okay for one player or one person, but it's not okay for this player or this person. The Bills did what they needed to do with the information that came out. He probably shouldn't even been on the team to begin with because they knew about it. They just thought they can skip the line with it and it not come out, but it didn't, and it did. So they did what they had to do. Again, the NFL is a business. It's a business. Sometimes talent can't override the situation.
So, so I'm gonna ask a question: would you have taken Denzel Mims from the Jets if he was available?
You
With the
asking
what?
me?
Yeah,
Um, I
because the
don't
Jet
know.
the Jets sure showcased him in their last preseason game. I mean, it was a meaningless game. Uh, fourth quarter, they threw him the ball like 4 or 5 times in that fourth quarter of a meaningless game. So they was definitely showcasing him, but nobody was picking him up. But it looked like he's a pretty big, solid receiver. Travis said that he would. Um,
Well, like I said, they did reach out. They did reach out about it, but what they wanted for him, the Cowboys wasn't willing to give. I think they didn't have a problem giving up a fourth, but they wanted a third and a fourth. And
okay.
according to stats, um, he wasn't worth the third and a fourth to them. So they were willing to give a fourth, but not a third and a fourth. So they moved on from it. But they did reach out to the Jets about doing it, about making a trade.
And the Eagles, they just they got rid of Rager.
They never wanted Rager from the beginning. If
Right.
if you recall, when they drafted him, they never wanted him from the beginning, and I think that was the first time that I ever heard the owner speak like he did about a player. Because normally he generally don't do that. That's normally Al Jerry Jones that talks about a player. But he said that Rager was walking a thin line, and he needed to produce this year. If he didn't produce, he was gone. So they never wanted him to begin with. Um, so they just unloaded him off their hands. And I think to be honest, I think he went to a better team. I think he went to a better quarterback that can actually get the ball to him. Jalen Hurts just couldn't get the ball to him. I think he went to a better team. I mean, Kirk Cousins might be a whole lot of things, but he will get the ball down. He can get the ball to him. Didn't he go to the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he can. I think he will get the ball to him. And I think with him having Rager and probably having Justin Jefferson, I think he picked up a good caliber wide receiver. Sometimes it's not. It's the sometimes it changes scenery.
Well, I think that Kaepernick's situation, I think that's over with and done. He's never going to play in the NFL again.
Yeah, Kappa's not gonna play in the NFL again.
Yeah, that's
The
over
only
with
thing
and
he
done.
haven't did was retired. To keep his name up and coming on the thing. But Kappa's not gonna come back to the NFL. When Cap took the settlement from the NFL, that basically sealed his deal of coming back to the NFL. When he took the settlement, and not to say that if he wouldn't have taken the settlement, that he would come back. Anyway, I just think that no team wants to deal with it. Nobody want to have it on the have to answer questions about it weekly. So they chose not to bring him back. No team want to do it, and you know, um,
And then when he made that Netflix special, and I saw that, I said, nah, he's done.
he's done. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done. He just haven't retired, but he's done. It was something I wanted to bring up.
Well, I just read that Aaron Donald uh, kind of blew off the fight at practice. He said it was practice and it was just football, and that Sean McVay addressed it, and that's pretty much all he had to say. He was going to leave that and go to Buffalo. I mean, he was on his mind was on Buffalo now, so um, we definitely don't have to worry about that. That situation. They're not going to do anything to Aaron Donald. He's a Hall of Fame uh, league MVP. So yeah, that's fine. Uh, so what's Serena doing, Travis? I guess
Looked
I need
like
to
she
get.
won or winning.
Well, I know she won yesterday,
Isn't she playing tonight?
so she won the first set. She lost the second set, and she's winning the third set 5-2.
Okay.
And this is over the number two ranked woman in the world. So yeah, we're gonna have to check this out. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to change my channel. Yep, she's playing the number two Frankfurt. Yep, yes. Go Serena.
Go Serena. I thought I was watching it. I guess the TV went off and I didn't even notice. Um, It was something I was gonna top bring up. I was supposed to send it to you to show it. I think I posted it last night. How we complain about the things that Jerry Jones do with the team, but look at the Raiders. All the players that the Raiders have brought in and got cut, and it was like all of their first round picks that's no longer on the team, or they either got cut or they traded them.
Yeah.
So I thought I posted it last night.
I mean, I think that we've had some good drafts, um, and we have to realize as fans, we can all have our opinions as far as what's going to happen and so forth and so on. But ultimately, Jerry's going to do what Jerry wants. Steven's going to do what Jerry wants and what he wants. So, we could be. Some of us are the perfect. Uh, you know what I kind we could be the perfect GMs on the outside, but teams are going to do what they want to do.
You frozen.
Am I frozen?
You're not now.
Okay. Yeah, teams are going to do what they want to do. So
Right. And that's what I say, we can get in a frenzy, we can get upset, we can do all that. But at the end of the day, there's no reason for us as fans to go at each other because none of us make final decisions on anything. We might have the same opinion on some things and we might disagree on some things, but there's no reason for us as fans to fall out with each other. There's no reason as us as fans to call each other names. At the end of the day, we don't make those decisions. And obviously, the things that we want and we see, Jerry and them, they've got firsthand at seeing it. So if they care enough about it, they would fix it. And so ultimately, they don't fix certain things. They don't do it or they don't move until it's right, until the last minute or until they feel like they backs up against the wall on something. Then they wanna scramble and get something fixed. But um, like I said today, we've all been fans of this team long enough to understand the concept. We've all been fans long enough to understand how shit works around here with Jerry as the owner and Steven right behind him. And people keep saying they want Jerry Jones to step down or Jerry Jones to move around. Steven ain't no better than Jerry, y'all. Steven worse than Jerry, to be honest, because at least Jerry would write checks. He wouldn't have no problem with paying players. He didn't have no problem with it. That's why we stayed in cap hell for so long. Because if Jerry liked you, you was his boy, he had no problems with re-signing you and giving you the biggest contract out there to give you. But Steven is the problem. It's Steven the problem. I know Jerry. That people feel like Jerry can say, "Well, he the owner. He ultimately can make the final decision. He can, ultimately overstep Steven." But he has allowed Steven to mold him into what he is now, and let Steven be the one to make these type of decisions. He's giving this power to Steven. So as long as we fans, this is what's gonna happen. So we have an option: root for our team or don't root for them.
how
But
how many teams in the NFL has First Take come to their practice facility and
none,
fly Stephen A. Smith in on a helicopter?
none. And then he flew him in on the helicopter and still dogged his ass on the show. Still clowned him on the show and called him a fraud. After you just let him ride in your helicopter with you. You're an undercover fan and you're a fraud. And Stephen A do what he do, talk about the Cowboys because that's how he keep his ratings going. He did it today. He had damn near a whole 30-minute segment about the Cowboys. And you just left from down here last week, but you still had a 30-minute show talking about the Cowboys today because y'all didn't have nothing else to talk about.
Speaking of shows, what do you think about this Micah Parsons going on going on
First
every
take.
Tuesday
I mean,
uh, with
Skip and Shannon.
Skip Shannon?
Um, I know a lot of fans. I seen a lot of comments about it saying they hope that they don't. get him out focused and don't have him where he needs to be on the game day. Um, but the game is on Sunday. The segment is on Tuesdays. Um, I think the type of caliber player that Michael Parsons is, and the grinder that he is, and how focused he is with games and where his mindset is at, I don't see it being an issue for him. I don't see it being a problem for him. And just from the background that he comes from and the way that his dad has always grounded him with things, I don't see it being an issue for Michael Parsons because he's always hungry. He's always wanting to get better. More and more and more, he's practicing and he's trying to mimic Demarcus Ware as much as he can. Um, so I don't see it being a problem for him. What's y'all take on? I was gonna actually talk about Baker. His comment that he made about he gonna F Cleveland up. Now you know damn well Miles Garrett standing on the other side of that line, waiting to tear his ass off the frame. When he already don't like you, you part of the he already don't like you because when that happened with uh, Garrett and Rudolph, that fight, Baker was one of the main ones in the locker room and one of the main ones that spoke behind the scene to the NFL board and said that Miles Garrett was wrong and Miles Garrett was at fault. So he already didn't like you. Then you part of the reason why Odell left, you know. So do you not think that Miles Garrett and them is not on the other side? And Miles Garrett actually spoke about it today. And he said, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna let the game dictate my talking. But no, you not do Baker not think they not finna come for his ass. They gonna do it. They gonna try to break him up.
Oh yeah, they coming for him.
He cocky. He too damn cocky. Baker Mayfield. He's too damn cocky. And they finna show him. They're not your teammate anymore, boo. They're your enemy now. So I just again pick your battles. Learn when to talk, learn when to say certain shit. You know damn well you are not finna go to Cleveland and do all that shit while Miles Garrett and them across the line from you.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't know, Serena won that match.
Yeah, Travis just put it up and said she won.
So like I said, the season's here in about 10, 11 days. Um, his big mouth make Dak look so humble. I mean, Baker Mayfield, he's been acting a fool since he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's always been cocky.
Yeah,
Always.
always. So, and I was shocked that he was a number one pick.
I
Like,
was shocked that he won the Heisman.
yeah, yeah. But that just. But even with Cleveland picking him, he had a good year. They had a stacked team. Um, and I ain't gonna say I admire him, but he did a lot last year while he was injured, or tried to while he was injured. But I think trying to play while he was injured was also his downfall. You know, these teams are not playing around with these quarterbacks no more.
Nope.
Once you got that fifth year option, once they put that fifth year option in these rookies contracts, I'm look at the Giants. They didn't pick up the fifth year option for Daniel Jones.
Nope.
If you don't do right, then you gone. You know, and that's why those the Dak haters. That's why I say that you know for Dak to get the money that he made for the contract that he got, ownership had to believe in him. They didn't have to sign him. Dak wasn't even on that fifth year option. He signed his contract, and it was strictly for those 4 years. They could have let
Hmm.
him go after that fourth year with no, in free agency with no repercussions. But
No
they,
type of attachment.
yeah, but they brought him back, so they had to have faith in this man in order for them to re-sign him. I don't think that Jerry would have, or them would have signed him back if they didn't have faith in this man.
While we talking about quarterbacks, let's talk about Lamar Jackson and the comments that he's putting out, about, you know, money and getting paid and his contract situation. Do you think this helps his case, or do you think somewhere down the line this is gonna hurt him? The way that he's constantly going to the media with it. He's his own agent, him and his mom. Is his own, they doing the negotiation themselves. Um, for me, it's like he's straddling in the fence, because one minute you're saying I'm okay with playing the season and holding off on contract talks until after the season, but then the next minute you're posting on Twitter and you are making these money statements and you're saying I need my money, this and this and this and that. No doubt he's gonna get paid when he do get paid, and it's gonna be more than Watson, I'm sure, because that's why the owners and the GMs are pissed off at the Browns, because they like, I done paid and gave Watson this type of money. Now this sets a record for everybody to have to do this. Um, or I come with a little bit more money, you know. So what do you think about that? Do you think it's hurting him or is it helping him?
I think what's going to eventually happen is the same thing that happened in Arizona with Mighty Mouse. They're going to eventually pay.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, they're going to pay him because he's a franchise quarterback. And I also think that in the next, so this next generation of quarterbacks that get their contracts, it's going to make Dak's contract seem like peanuts
Look
because
like nothing.
you're going to start seeing, 50, 55 million dollar quarterbacks pretty soon, especially when the salary cap goes up. And like you said, that contract that Deshaun Watson signed, the next person that signs a big contract, that's what's going to happen. And I think, a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, when they seen Deshaun Watson's contract, they said, you know, this is what we want. And I think that, if I have to speculate, I'm thinking that Baltimore says, no, not the style of quarterback you are. I can't guarantee you,
That you're gonna be healthy.
yeah, 5 years, whatever amount of money it is, because you're not going to stay healthy, running the ball like you are. I mean, it's just a fact. He's not, because most quarterbacks, you know, don't take the pounding like he does. This guy, almost was 1,000 yard rusher uh, a year or two ago. So I think that it's going to hurt him as far as the longevity of his contract. I don't think
Mhm.
that it hurt him as far as how much money. I think they're going to franchise him.
Um, okay. One more quarterback situation. Let's talk about um Tennessee Titans with, oh boy, what's his name? Willis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Put him on display like they did during the preseason and showing how he played, and he balled.
Hmm.
Um, do you think that put Tannehill in a spot? That put Tannehill in a situation?
I think that this is Tannehill's last year.
That's the conversation I had earlier. I think this is Tannehill last year because they seen what they kind of possibly have in a quarterback with bringing in Willis.
Yeah.
And I think this is last year. And I'll be honest, I think if Tannehill not good any part time of this season, they will pull him.
But
And
Tannehill has Henry, so that's going to help him out.
right. But your running back can only do so much. You still need your quarterback play
Yeah.
at some point of the game. Some part of the time you're gonna need your quarterback play. And I think that if Tannehill is not doing what they expect or what they want to see from him, because let's be real, Tannehill is he has a chip on his shoulder right now because of Willis.
Oh
It's
yeah.
almost that he feels threatened. He feels threatened already by Willis. Well, even when they drafted Willis, he made the comments he made, so he already feels threatened. And then just seeing Willis get out there on the field and play in preseason and how he balled, during preseason, that kind of still made them feel some type of way. So I think that if any part of the season was they don't feel that Tannehill is doing as good as they want him to do, they're gonna pull him. They're gonna put Willis in because I think their mindset is gonna go to let's not let him get hurt because we still got money invested in him. Let's pull him out so we can get a foul trade for him, and he'll probably move on and become somebody second. Be somebody backup quarterback next season if he continues to stay in the game. Now, that's
Well,
just my opinion.
I think the fact that, and I think that I was hearing a commentator said that the Titans want Malik to not think run first because he has a big arm. To be as young as he is, he has a big arm. But I think that they're definitely going to have Malik sit, you know, be back up this year,
Hmm.
and then uh, Tannehill's gone. I mean, Tennessee's best roster was his last couple of years. I don't see them, making it to the championship game or past the division round this year. So once again, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Malik balled out. He did. Um, but he's got to learn not to
Run
run
first.
first.
And that's all part of the game. That's gonna come, and he has to get that down. But quarterbacks like him and his style of quarterback, that's what they do. You know. So he just have to learn that he's not in college anymore, and the NFL is a different breed. And you can get hurt quicker than you probably would in college
Yeah.
with the running first. So he just have to keep a mindful thought of that and understand that. But I'm looking forward to it, and I just think this season coming next year with the draft, this is going to be the quarterback draft. So you're going to see a lot of teams picking up quarterbacks, drafting quarterbacks next draft. And a lot of quarterbacks that's quarterbacks now, unless they under some main big contracts, they're going to be rolled out. They're going to
Yep.
be rolled out.
I definitely see that. I mean, what do you think about the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh?
Um, I think Trubisky is gonna end up being the starter. I think they feel like they seen more from him in preseason than they did the other quarterbacks. So I think he's gonna probably start off as a starter. But again, another one. If he don't do well, it's gonna taper down, and they're gonna put in the one they drafted at some point. Cause they got what? They got who they have over there?
So they got
They
the
got
kid from
Trubisky.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, they got him. They got the kid from Pittsburgh, and then they
Oh, and
got
they still got Mason Rudolph.
and Mason
Randolph.
Rudolph. Right? Yeah, Randolph, and then you had teams that was inquiring about Randolph, and the Steelers said no. So I think that I think eventually the kid's gonna take over probably sometime this year because that was a three-headed race. Those guys. I
Hmm.
mean, it was pretty much kind of equal. Even though Trubisky has started, he started preseason or training camp as a starting quarterback, and then he played all right during the preseason. But I think that's another situation where that young kid will most likely Pickett. I think his name is Pickett.
Pickett. Hmm.
Yeah, I think by next season he'll be the starting quarterback also, and Trubisky will be gone. I know that
And
Trubisky signed a 2-year contract, but in reality, it was a 1-year contract uh, for like $14 million. 2-year
hmm.
contract for $14 million, and that second year is an option. So
Yeah, they can cut him and don't have that money on the books. That much money on the books from cutting him. And uh, damn, it was on top of my mind, on top of my tongue. It was another quarterback situation that I was gonna talk about.
Seattle,
Definitely Seattle need a quarterback. Yeah, they need a quarterback. I don't know. I don't see Geno Smith doing anything big for them, and I don't see Locke doing anything big for them. I know I was gonna talk about Jimmy G. How do you think? 'Cause they were talking about Jimmy G this morning on the sports shows, And Stephen A was one and he talked about it this morning, and he said that Jimmy G, he feel like Jimmy G was stupid for staying, knowing being that they put all over the media and the airwaves that they wanted to get rid of him for and move on to Trey Lance, and they feel like that they feel like he let them play him.
Well, this is another situation where, like you said, I was saying earlier, San Francisco has till next Saturday, uh, to trade him or to cut him, in order for them not to have to eat his whole $24 million.
But I thought they redid his contract. He signed a 1 year extension. They redid his contract.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
They
redid
they
it.
did they did that today, then, right?
Yeah, he redid his contracts and for like a 1 year deal to stay on as backup quarterback.
Oh
But
wow.
for them to convince him to do that, to me, that speaks that they don't really have the faith in Trey Lance that they feel that they think they have. And I think at some point Trey Lance is going to be okay. But looking at him in preseason, I didn't feel confident that he could take the reins of the team right now. So for them to um, convince Jimmy G to stay on another year and redo his contract for him to stay another year, that tells me that they're not totally sold on Trey Lance. They
Yeah.
want to move on, but they felt like, hey, after seeing preseason, I think we need to convince him and do something to keep Jimmy G here. So I think at some part of the season, we'll see Jimmy G back in the game.
I'm just now reading this, and I said the same thing. Preseason, he didn't win them over, so that's why they decided to keep Jimmy G. Because I know at one time, I was reading that, like I said, they had up till next Saturday to trade him or to let him go, and not have to uh, take that whole $24 million hit. But
But they was gonna let him walk.
yeah,
But after they kind of seen some of the things in preseason, they was like, oh, we need to convince him to stay. And that's what they did. So he ended up signing a year deal to stay on as the backup quarterback. But I think at some part of the game of the season, he's probably going to come back in as a starter because I like Trey Lance and I want to see him excel and I want to see him advance. But what I seen in preseason, it just wasn't over the
yeah,
top
he
for me.
he couldn't get the ball to Debo. You know,
And that's going to be a problem.
yeah,
That's going to be a problem.
yep.
So,
Because
well,
Debo
it's
looking
not.
for his money too.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that they didn't make a deal. They didn't sign him yet. They didn't do something with him already. Thought they
Uh,
did.
well, that's what Google is for. Let's see, Samuel. Let's see here. Well, I know Debo Samuel said he's gonna miss a week of practice. Let's see here. Yeah, he did. He signed a 3 year,
Okay, that's
$71
what I.
million contract
Okay, I thought they did something. I thought they had got
with
something done.
58 million guaranteed. So pretty much it's a 2 year contract because he gets a $24 million signing bonus, which leaves $34 million in guaranteed money. So yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna see.
We're gonna see how it pans out. Um, I would give anything to have Trent Williams right now, though.
You and me both.
I would give anything to have Trent Williams right now.
You and me
But
both. That's not gonna happen.
we don't see. We don't. Nah, not gonna happen. So, well, it's 9:07. Old man time, as you
Yeah,
say.
it's old man time.
We're gonna send a special shout out. Happy birthday to K Boogie. That's why he wasn't with us tonight. Today was his birthday, so his family took him out tonight. So definitely want to send him a happy birthday shout out. Um, he don't drink, so I can't say he tossing up one because unless he doing drinking some Coke or extra Dr Pepper or something.
He
But
tossing up that ice water.
right, right. So um, I got to mail your stuff to you too. So but I told Liggins and Kelly. I
Okay.
gotta mail their stuff to them, and I gotta mail yours as well. So, and nobody that didn't get on last week, I don't know what to tell you. Go to Specs app and order it and have them deliver it to you because I told you I asked it to put y'all order in last week. Um, but I'm looking forward to. I mean, I know we have a show next week. Next week, we should have a little bit more finalization on his O line, and if we've signed someone between now and next week or the week before the game start, or however. So I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to what we're gonna bring to the field. Uh, I just um, I'm excited but scared at the same time because I don't know. We just don't know how this season is gonna go. We don't have that. We don't have that comfortability that we had at once upon a time. You know, with the from the wide receiver core, we just don't know what we're gonna get. I mean, I know Lamb is good or whatever, but I just don't know. Talbot didn't sell me in preseason. He didn't, you know.
Right.
So I don't know how this gonna go. And then with Washington getting hurt, um, I don't know. I just don't know how this gonna pan out for us. But we'll know. We'll know soon
We'll,
enough.
we'll know soon enough. We'll know
We
in
gotta
about.
wait all day before we get on the field. We gotta wait all day. But our eyes will be on us because we'll be the only game on that night. Jerry knows how to pick them. He knows what to do to keep the Cowboys number one, keep us in a. I mean, we can only be number one in other places other than in money and the most valuable team. So
Well, I think I'm gonna go to work that morning, Sunday morning, so I can not watch other football. Well, I can watch football in my office. I hope ain't nobody on my job listening. Uh, I can watch football in my office, but I think I'm gonna watch football so that I mean, go to work so that I can uh, really focus on the Cowboys game that evening, and then don't go to work that Monday because I'll probably be drunk from that game.
right, because I was sitting here debating the other day. I was like, should I take Friday off? Or should I take off Monday? And I was like, oh, it's a late game. Yeah, I might need to take that Monday off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. So um, guess we just come back next week
Yep.
and just and see where we at on this roster base and roster wise, because we'll know. So now it's like anxiety starting to kick in that we
Yeah.
so close to it. Now it's like you getting anxious, you getting worried. And before I go, we have, of course, our second annual Beach Bash coming up May next year. I've been posting on my page, Candy, Cherie. You can reach out to any one of us. I think I can't never remember the dates because we moved it up a week, but I know it's Mother's Day weekend. But it's over with that Sunday, so you can still make it home and take your mom out to eat and do whatever. So don't let there be no excuse not to come. Um, we had a blast last year, and we're looking forward to doing the same, repeating and doing the same thing again for a second time. If you missed the first one, you don't want to miss the second one because we definitely leveling up more. We took the pros, the cons, and um, we definitely gonna level up again on this one as well. So reach out to me, reach out to Candy, Cherie, any one of us if you want additional information. It's $100 deposit. The whole total event packet is 525, but that covers everything. Once you get there, you don't have to come out of pocket for anything, no more than what you want to come out of pocket for. So we looking forward to seeing a lot of you this year that didn't make it last year. Of course, food, open bar, all nice that you're there, um, buffet style. So come out, come out and join us. Come have a good time with us. I give you the. I thought I gave you the flyer, but if I didn't, I send it to you so
No,
you
you
can
didn't give it
you
to me.
can you can. No, I'm trying to put me on blast.
Well, all I'm gonna say is this: uh, stay tuned for some information coming out of Atlanta in a couple of days. We're gonna do something big here in the first weekend in October. I don't want to give it all away right now, but just look out for some information that's gonna come out in the next few days. Uh, watch out for these Cowboy fans in Atlanta. We're doing it pretty big here. Uh,
Okay.
it's a lot of clubs here that's doing big things, and we got something popping. So
Let me get the flyer up real quick so I can give exact dates. Um,
Candy put on here May the 11th through the 14th.
okay. I know I was close. I knew it was something on the with the 14th, but I couldn't remember the exact days in between. Okay.
May
So
11th.
May 11th through the 14th, 2023. NFL Divas Beach Bash, Virginia Beach. The hotel is the Wyndham Oceanfront. Rooms are 169 a night. 2 night minimum stay. But the thing about that, you can share the cost of the room. You don't have to spend. Let me shut up. Um, you ain't got to spend $1,000 a piece to be in one room. You can split it if you have friends, family, whoever that want to come with you. Um, all rooms are oceanfront rooms as well. So we negotiated a pretty good deal on that. So Friday night, or Thursday is meet and greet. Um, Friday is the denim and white cruise ride, boat ride, and Saturday is going to be Rep Your Team bowling day brunch, and then at night, of course, we'll end the night with our 50 Shades of Blue gala, semi-formal attire.
All
So
right.
let's have it.
We're looking
So we'll
forward
let this
to
old man go to bed.
it. Definitely. I got to be up in 5, 6 hours, 6 and a half hours. I got to be up to go to work. So once again,
Well, I got 3 weeks left in school, so eventually we'll be able to flip back to our regular schedule unless this schedule works for everybody.
we'll probably have to go back
But
because
we can flip back to it in three
I'll
weeks.
start having games on Wednesday nights,
I
but
just
we'll
might
work
keep
it
it. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. We ain't gonna leave y'all hanging.
out. All right then.
But
Now, get ready for the hottest podcast coming out of Dallas, Texas, with Sean Fox, K Boogie, and
What are you saying, Nikki?
oh no, you good.
Cowboys. Let's go.
Yo, here we go again, back up on the scene. Stars talking Cowboys, you know what I mean. The podcast repping everything with silver and blue. Keeping it real, that's what they do. Let me tell you about the crew. Sean Fox, spitting facts. K Boogie's giving gang. Nikki's got the stats, so of course she covers everything. It's showtime, so let's get to the biz. And that Stars talking Cowboys, yeah, you know what time it is.
All right. We will see y'all next week.
Good night. Thank y'all for joining us. You forgot to your etiquette.
Oh, my bad.
Thank
See,
everybody for tuning in tonight and taking time out y'all busy schedule to join us. I know it's plenty of other things that y'all could have been doing. So we appreciate each and every one of you. We could not do this without you all. Have a good night.
all right. See y'all next week.
All right. Good night.